The first thing we're going to do is turn on the master compressor. I turn on the master compressor so that way I don't have to over compress anything. I turn that on and it's very simple. So, see there? Bypass. Just for control. And then the second in that chain is the SDRR saturator for nice thickness. So I'll just turn that on. So give me that textured sound all across from top to bottom. And then I'll always add a little bit of mid-range, but listen. See, it's richer. We're going to start with the kick or the drum section. We go through one by one. So we're going to solo the kick just so that you can hear it. Listen to the kick, which is this one. All right, so let's listen. It's right there. The white. Now, if you notice, there's no compression, no EQ, nothing. It's just vacant. You would say, why would I do that? Because it sounds good. You don't have to compress or clean up anything. If the sound sounds good or the signal sounds good, leave it as it is. All right, so that's easy. So we move on to the bass. Now, why am I mixing bass to the kick? Because of the kind of sound that it is. So we're going to listen. Okay, so now let's clean up the bass. Remember, I'm marrying the kick or the bass to the kick because the kick is first. So let's listen to the kick one more time. And then bass. So right now they don't match, which is why I processed it. So the first thing I did with the bass is I added a little bit more mid-range. And I boosted it by 2 decibels. And I overemphasized the treble by about 6.2 decibels. So listen. First, without. And then with. All right. And then the next in the chain is a basic compressor. Makes it quieter, yeah, but it's clean. The next one. This is a little bit complex, but I'm looking for tonality. So when I add it, let's listen. Without. So I'm bringing out the tonality there, and the final thing I added was I rolled off the bass here. I'm keeping the terminology very simple so everybody can understand what I'm saying. So this is called a high pass filter. I'm rolling off the bass by roughly 1 decibel. Listen, without. With. If you notice, watch this. I'll put back in all the mid-range. Boom, right there. Now let's put the kick in. All right, let's move on to the snare. I put it's a clap. Now the clap is routed through the aux. So let me turn this on so you can hear it from here. Listen. Okay, it sounds skinny and weak, and let's make it fat. The first thing I put on it was a compressor. This is basic, and I put the stereo maker on it to spread it apart. Listen. On this one, I'm actually using it up to 188%. So it's really over exaggerated. And then I put my EQ on it, more mid-range, a little bit, and the top end. And a little bit of reverb. Now, there's a little trick that I did here. This clap is the same as this clap. The only difference is I cut this clap and I put it on a different track. Then I send a reverb to it, to that track. See? So when it gets to that part, it goes, bah! All right, so let's move on to the hi-hats. Guess what, guys? Look, up here. Up in the sky. Again, no processing. Zero. So let's listen from here. It's right here. Let's listen to the percussion. I added a little mid-range to it, so I'm going to turn the EQ on to balance it out. I'm going to turn this off. Bit together. Now I can balance it out. Listen. Hear that balance? Let's add the bass to it. Very nice. Now let's play the whole drums so you can hear the whole perspective of it. So we're going to go from here to here on a loop. Let's listen to the drum loop we just created. All right, and believe it or not, that's the drums, except for maybe the cymbal that comes in much later. And that's it for drums. I told you it was a very simple song, but it's complex in terms of how the music is arranged. All right, let's move into the guitars. I know I call it guitar, but this is not really a guitar. It's more like a glass sound that layers. It sits right under the guitars. All right, so I'm going to play that by itself. So if you notice, I'm outputting this through a bus 1 and 2. If you watch my mouse, see right here? It goes to bus 1 and 2. And it drops out of this channel. All the guitars and that glass sound all come out of the same bus. I'm going to turn that on. The EQ is to clean up the sound itself, the guitar sound, and I rolled up the bottom end so that it's not too booming. We already have the bass and the kick running in that frequency, so we don't need more bass frequencies in the song, except maybe later in some part of the piano. Other than that, it's a roll off. Again, high pass. So we're going to turn it on and leave it on for a while. All right, so now we're going to start with this one and see what it sounds like. So we're going to turn this on and then listen to it by itself. And then we turn on the drums. And here we go. Okay, so let me show you why I did that. So if you notice here, I'm going to show you this. This is the part we're talking about, and that's it. Again, simple. And then we're going to go back and turn on the drums, okay? Before we do that, let's listen to the sound of the guitars. Make sure we get this. So these are the guitars. This here, and then these here. And then, of course, this right here in the hook. So let's listen to it. Normally, I would clean that up by going here, hold down the control, right? And it changes to that, and you would clean up that. So you wouldn't have that clip. Listen. See? But if I leave it in, it added a different kind of flavor to the track. Like that kind of static noise that it's buried. And you go, what's that? And you don't notice after a while. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to leave it in the track. It just added that flavor that there's no other, it's like that final pinch of salt. All right, so let's go here. Now let's put the drums back in and then process this stuff on top of that. This is very simple. There's nothing to explain. It's just a delay. Same thing. I just turn them all on because they're all the same. All right, so now listen. Hear that? Let's shrink the screen so we can see a whole lot more. This is the section we're in, and then we're going to go all the way to this section. All right, so let's add the guitars in the verse. Very nice, huh? So that delay makes it bounce. That way there's no delay, which is why you can't hear the static. All right, so now let's go to the piano. Okay, that's a piano in the verse, which is what we're going to do next. So the piano in the verse, we need to address that. So this is the piano verse. So let me play that again. Okay, so those are the guitars. There's an added piano that I put on it. So listen. Okay, so that's this right here. All right, so again, basic EQ just to increase the bottom end and the mid-range and the top end so it fits in the track. Basic EQ, and then I use the same delay. And now let's listen to it. Okay, now let's listen to it with the glass and the guitars. Let's see how they all sit. So there's a play there that goes, the guitars go, right? And then the piano goes, dan, tone, Dan. Guitars again. Dan, dan, oh. So the trick where you do instrumentation is you create a question and answer. Hey, I'm over here. And then he goes, hey, I got this. It's like an interaction. And the drums are going, cat, and all that stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all staggered, but together they make a beautiful symphony. Let me play that again. All right, let's move through the next section, which is the hook. And then we're going to stay here for a minute because there's another piano that underlies everything else. All right, so we're going to stay here and go to this section, which is the same as the previous one, except it's a little bit lower in the mix. There's a whole lot more happening in the hook, but the effect is the same. And then I'm going to flip this on right here. All right, so let's go back one bar. Okay. So the next part is the other bells. I call it Frozen because it sounds like one of those Disney. Stop there. Okay, if you notice, zero effect, nothing on it. I want to go to the choir first. And then I'm going to turn the EQ on. Again, basic EQ, heighten it, sharpen it. So let me hear it. All right, so if you notice, that's panned hard right, super hard right, all the way. And then over here for this instrument, this is panned hard left with the EQ on it. Let me see what we did to that. Same thing, same tone. Very good. So I balanced it with this. And then we got the Frozen on top of it, and then we're going to play that. Very nice. So we got the choir, we got the cake, and that's all the instrumentation in the entire song, really. The rest is just vocal gymnastics. All right, so that's the entire song. I told you, it's a simple song, but the vocal arrangement and everything else just makes it sound very complicated. But the basics are very basic. All right, so let's play the music in stages. Oh, remember the part I mentioned earlier? The roll and then the cymbal? Let's go listen to those. All right, let's listen to those and see how they sound. So that's the roll right here. Yep, that. Let me play it again. So watch this. So that's what you hear when it goes. It's a drum roll. And then it goes into the, okay, let's play this section here. This one right here, let's play this. Very nice. And then there's another part I haven't shown you, which is this section right here. Right here. The two, they're layered. So if I go here, it would show this section right here. Okay, and that's the entire song. All right, let's take it from the top. So I'll go over this very quickly so that the video is not too long. Okay, let's go back to the intro, which is here. And then the verse starts here. and the hook. See? And then the verse starts again here. And then the pre-hook. And then we got another vamp here. And that's it for the music. All right, now that we're finished with the music, we're going to turn on the 3 plugins I showed you earlier. So this will be the first one. That gives it a much balanced sound mid-range wise. I already video for the vocals, so I'm going to go through this really quickly. You see here on the right, you can click on that and go watch that video. It's a very extensive vocal production video, much more comprehensive than what I can give you here. All right, let's go. This is the first vocal right there. Let's do a quick listen. All right, so we're going to start with the vocal. There's nothing on it right now except, of course, auto-tune. As you can see, I only have a retune speed of about 20. That's not much at all. And then I'll go to the next one, which is the de-esser. Again, go watch the video, and I'll play that. Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation, just wanna keep it real. And then I added my second EQ for the sizzle. Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation. And the reverb. Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation, just wanna keep it real. And then delay. Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation, just wanna keep it real. Let me lead by. Now there's one more thing that I did here. This is just what the pros do to get to that next level. So if I kill this and I pull this up, you're gonna hear this. On this one, it's auto-tune all the way in. Watch this. This is a Vocal Synth 2 by Isotope. So if I turn it on, that voice changes. Listen. So it becomes a layer under the lead. So you're gonna hear both, and you're gonna be like, ah, I get it. Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation, just wanna keep it real. Let me lead by infrared, you are now my domain. Yeah, this is the same thing as the other one. A lot of people email me and go, why didn't you just create a bus? Singing out an invitation, enter at your rest. This is not infatuation, just wanna keep it real. Let me lead by infrared. We're good. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the ad-libs, after the hook. The hook is right here. For the hook, of course, I had to correct the pitch. And then I added the CLA3, basic. It doesn't come any more basic than that. And then, of course, I added the mid-range here. So I'm just going to turn those on.
Don't even know your name. Don't even know your name. Don't even know your name.
Okay, so for the first part, because it's a layered chorus, I added the CLA 3A. Let me turn that on. And then on top of that, I added the F6. And when I turn that on, I have a boosted mid-range, and I have a high-pass filter on the bottom end of the vocals. We just needed a nice control. And then, of course, I clean up the track a little bit at 28 to 13 hertz. And here too, 6,000 hertz. And I left this alone, I think. Just a little bit. All right. And let's play it.
Don't even know your name.
Okay, so I bust those two out from 5 and 6 into 5 and 6 receiving. So out of these two into the blue track, or the blue coded track. Instead of using the stereo maker, I decided to use the imager from Ozone for a nice spread. So listen.
Don't even know your
Nice. And then I added the reverb. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I only ever use one reverb. Why is that? Because it works. If it works, why fix it? No one's going to know whether you used deverb or breverb or any other kind of reverb. As long as it sounds good, that's what they care about. I added the delay, but in a different bounce.
Don't even know your
For it to cut through, I added the classic EQ. Okay, so now let's play it from the end of the verse going into the hook, so you can see how it flows in.
Let me lead by infrared, you are now in my domain. Realize as I fantasize, don't even know your name. I will be your lady.
Let's play it one more time. Nice flow in. Okay, if you notice in the hook, even though you can hear a lot of voices, you can still hear the piano, da-na-na-na-na, and then you can hear the bells down, and then you can hear the chords, you can hear the guitar, you can still hear the kick. So everything's really clear because we made these choices on purpose. All right, very good. And then there's one more thing we have to do. And then let's go to the ad-lib. Very important. I got two sets of ad-libs. So you got one that's going in here, and then this one is on top of that. Let's add that and see how it pans out. Just leave that alone. All right, so we're going to unmute, and then let's see what happens. Actually, let's start with the first one. Okay, so let me bring out a new EQ we've never used. This is a monster. I thought I'll demo this for you guys just so that you see how it works. I'm sorry, did I say I meant compression? I meant new compressor. Okay, and then I need to send this to a bus. I need to bust this out to 11, which is this. I need to block that. All right, so I'm going to send this ad-lib to this that says ad-libs. All right, let's go. Let me see, make sure it's not overdone. 15, very good. Let me check this. It's a 15. Okay, that's what happens. try that again. Okay, so we'll scale down the classic EQ part of it. Okay, there you go. Very good. Now let's go to the second one, which is this one, and then let's do them all together. Okay? And then let's see how they sit together. So this is this one right here. So I'm just going to turn these on. I'm going to change the bus to go to this track right here. I'm going to kill the auto tune. Oh, okay. Let's keep it on. It's hardly there. I'm going to kill this. I'm going to keep the replica, which is the delay. And I'm going to kill the compression as well. Let's see what it sounds like. That's why I didn't use it. It's too noisy. That's just a flavor. And then we'll go to the next track. The verse. And we have this. Second verse. I did the same thing for the second verse. It has the lead and the affected one.
Get rid of your inhibitions, put your trust in me. Take a bite out of my apple, just wanna make you see. All the things you've been denied, I'm gonna give to you. So throw your hands up and give it up, I'm coming through.
Okay, so we got backing vocals here. I'll turn them on after this. This is the third section of the lead vocal. Second verse lead vocal.
I'm putting myself out just for you. Take me, I'm willing. To the limit. Wait a minute.
Okay. Let's turn on the effects for the vocals. All right, let's go turn on the backing vocals for that section because we need that section to make the whole song full. So it's this part right here. All right, so the usual, the EQ, the classic EQ. I always use double EQs, and of course the delay. Well, a different instance of it. The pitch, what I'm using to correct the pitch is pitch 3 right here. It's a native Pro Tools plugin, but it's very effective, noiseless almost. All right, let's go. We're gonna listen to this section.
Throw your hands up and give it up, you know I'm coming through.
Now you hear it. Let's go back over here and see what's happening.
Throw your hands up.
Let's back up a little bit. We're going to go from this part of the song, maybe all the way out, so we can hear it to the hook. You can see how that's layered. There's another section here that's layered all the way down here. So I'll tell you what, let's play it up to here, and then we'll stop, and then take that as a different section. All right, so let's take it from here.
See, all the things you've been denied, I'm gonna give to you. So throw your hands up and give it.
Once it gets to this point, it'll either drop out. If I have this on loop, then it will loop, except when you're in record mode. But if you're not in record mode and you're playing the track then it will just go ahead and loop. If you don't want to loop it, then take the loop off, then it won't loop. If you want to play any section, you highlight it, Pro Tools sets in and out points. So if I'm there and I play this, and I immediately want to jump to this, I can do this. Or you can set markers. To me, it's just faster. So let's play from here. You see how it ends, and then how it starts here, and then how it ends here, and how it goes into this. It's a beautiful mix. Listen.
All the things you've been denied, I'm gonna give to you. So throw your hands up and give it up. You know I'm coming through. Baby, now you know the deal. Ain't nobody quite like me. I put all others to shame. Baby, tell me what's my name. I'm putting myself out just for you.
See what I mean? Because there's no loop, it stopped. All right.
All the things you.
So let's go now to this section so you can hear how it goes into the hook, and then we'll come back and I'll play you this part because it's a layer on top of what's going on, okay? All right. Good. Now let's go to this section right here. And then we'll turn that on and you'll see how it's layered in. Oh, I think I made a mistake. That's a mistake. That's a hook. There's that other part I want to show you first before we go, which is this part. Remember I told you about this part? Okay, let's play that back. Now you hear it.
Let me lead by infrared. You are now in my domain. Realize as a fantasy.
We gotta pull the volume up a little bit. Okay, let's listen to that.
Let me lead by infrared. You are now in my domain. Realize as a fantasy.
Maybe a little bit more. Let's just go to 0 on this one. All right, let's go to the ad-libs in the second verse. Which is a little bit more complex. So here's the complexity. There's a lot of automation you can see. This is wild. Normally, you would have your waveform this way, right? We'll be in this mode for the most part. This is muted because I'm not using it. But these ones I am using. The first thing you'll see is the disparity between the levels. Look at the peak of this one and look how quiet this one is. Right? Let me tell you something. There is no compressor on the planet that will fix the dynamic range from here to there without using a series of compressors. I don't like compressors that much to where I want to crush the crap out of my vocals. These are nice vocals. So I had to do some automation. I did it here, I did it here, and I did it here. And then we did some fade-ins and some fade-outs. By watching this video today, you can teach yourself how to automate vocals or any waveform, really. Okay, so let me make sure that it's, we turn it on first. So if you notice, the first thing we'll do is we'll take that section, I'll go over here. But we're gonna go from here, okay? Because I want you to see the reaction of what these lines and these data points, what they've done to the fader and how they work. Now this is this one right here, okay? It's highlighted and my cursor's right here. If you can't see it, go to the top of the screen, you see it, yellow, and it's this purple. I'll tell you what, let's change this track to a hideous blue so that way you can see it. Yeah, that one. The only blue of that color on this whole thing, so you can't miss it. So I'm going to press play. So watch the fader. As a matter of fact, let me do it this way. Let me do something different a little bit. Okay, so now you can see the fader. You can see as it moves across, you see the fader reacting. So watch. As it gets louder, it goes down. As it gets lower in volume, it goes up. So it's just riding the waves, basically. And you can write those parameters in as you hear it and you can see it happen. All right, so let's go back to the regular screen. All right, so let's go again. And then you see that after this, now, I know you can hear that some things are missing here, right? Because it's down here. We're gonna listen one more time, but all the way through to this point. And then we'll go back to plugging in the missing parts. Okay, if you feel like that's a little bit too low, you can just come in here. There's something called the knob. Master. Let's add a little bit of volume to that. Plug in. Let's go to other. The one. It's called one. Is that what it's called? One nub? One. No, that's not it. It's called one nub, isn't it? I've never used it, but I know it's here somewhere. Is it a waves thing? Okay, so we need more volume for that part, so I want to raise it. I'm going to add this part right here. It's got its own effect, which is replica. That's the delay. And this time around, I added this for a shape. And that's coming out of instrument 2. Okay, so you can hear that. So that adds that delay and the reverb and all that clean, just crazy stuff. on the track for another bar. So listen, now that you know it's there, listen out for it. Lots of automation everywhere. Why? Because you don't want it to clash, right? So let's listen to this section right after Be Your Lady. This here is the same as this one here, but it was too many vocals going on at the same time. Mute that part. And I had to mute this part. She did a lot of vocal tracks. So we're going to play from here to there. I'm going to on-solo this. Then let's go see where this is going. Turn these on. And then listen. Okay, now let's fill in the other voices. Okay, so very good. So let's run down the track. Of course, this is not the final version. The final version is already mixed, and I'm going to play that. Actually, there's a video on my channel already for this track. It's a full music video, so go check it out. Same title. It's called Be Your Lady. I'll put a link in the description. So let's say, oh, there's one more part I forgot to mention. The intro. So if you listen. You remember the effect that I had here under the lead vocal, this right here? That's what's happening there. If I mute that and I play the track by itself, you're gonna hear the original voice, which is buried. But it's all auto-tuned out, right? I didn't want that auto-tune, so I had to layer it with something crazier, more distinct. So the two layered together gives it that unique, or that vocal part. All right, so that's the intro. On this song, we're using 55 tracks. Well, 56, because we're using the aux as well. These are the old 808s that I was using, and it was just not happening. So I dumped them. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and mute that. Oops. All right, so let's play from the top, and then we'll just go in sections. All right, so let's start from here. Let's go here.
Singing out an invitation, answer out of your wrist. This is not infatuation.
That's nice. And then the hook. I forgot to mute this one. That one, yeah. Sorry, guys. So let's do that again. And then we go into the hook. Sorry, second verse.
Get rid of your inhibitions, put your trust in me. Take a bite out of my apple, just wanna make you see.
And then here.
No, I'm coming through. Baby, now you know the deal. Ain't nobody quite like.
And then here. And then we got this section here. And then we got the section that goes out. I want to try something. I want to see, and then let's see. Oh yeah, right here. And then here. Okay, I see. And that's it. Well, thank you for coming back to my channel to chat with me, hang out with me, and watch me do my thing. I got a new video coming out next week, and thank you again, and peace.